Alright.
Alright, so we're off.
Getting into it. So starting off on the plains, I believe for both routes you need to get 8 skulls in this stage, is that correct?
No, for one, if you're doing soul route, you have to get 1 more skull in this stage.
Oh, I see.
The skeletal sentry.
Alright. But in any case, all players are going to be having to get a heck of a bunch of skulls in this stage, which they'll need later in order to get powerful curios that will help them defeat bosses much faster. So we saw that all 4 players picked up that first skull. I'm pretty sure they all did.
No, Pikapete, I believe, was the only one that actually picked up the first skull.
So I'll be honest, that was the only screen I was looking at, and I just kind of assumed. Alright, I'm going to try to do better with the 4 screens here. This is a little new to me.
Yeah, this is a lot to keep track of. But yeah, Pikapete, I believe Pikapete is doing the Bounding Soul route. And that's why he picked up the extra skull at the beginning.
Alright. And the other players are running Skeletal Sentry, is that correct?
So far, it kind of looks like it, yeah.
Okay. Huh. So Pikapete is, I mean, despite having to stop for the extra skull, is pretty much keeping in pace with everyone else, so that's really good for him.
Not really too sure as to why Pikapete just kind of paused there.
Yeah, never mind. Oh, was it to skip the dialogue? And then...
No,
well, because it's, you know, it's like the start button is the dialogue skip button, but if you hit it too early, you pause the game. That's my best explanation.
No, I think he just... I don't know, maybe have some controller issues or something.
Oh, okay. Oh boy, I hope not. Alright, so King Captain is the first one to make it to Black Knight 1.
Alright, so we do have King Captain here at the boss. And you can just basically lock Black Knight in the corner here by just rhythmically slashing him at the correct time. And looks like he's doing pretty well here. Yeah, pretty easy. Ooh, Eric, gonna miss the lock in the corner. This is probably the most costly mistake that you can make on the first stage, is missing this quick kill.
Yeah, once you knock Black Knight off of his turtle, you can't do as much damage as quickly to him anymore because he gets a few invulnerable frames every time you hit him. And also then he can jump around all over the screen and it can be tough to track him down.
Yeah, once Black Knight actually gets off Terrapin, he becomes very, very unpredictable, so... yeah, it's a lot harder to deal with.
I actually thought that boss was really refreshing after having to fight Black Knight as Plague Knight. It's because he's so much more predictable.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright.
So it looks like I think this is actually something I haven't really seen before this tournament, but as a safety precaution, after planes, I've seen some of our players actually give money to the armor NPC, so that if you die during flying machine, you actually lose less money, which is it's a pretty good smart thing to do. To make the run a little bit safer. It does waste a little bit of time, but it's not really that big of a deal.
That is smart. I hadn't thought of that. Alright, so everyone's going to need to get a lot of money and a lot of skulls in this stage as well, because after this stage, they need to buy a curio, which is the Judgment Rush, and they'll also have to buy the Rail Mail, which... shoot. It's not 7,000, that's Legion. What is it for Manny?
It's 8,600, I believe. 8,600 or 400, pretty correctly.
I think 8,400 sounds right, because it's you pay him 600 3 times, and then I think the armor was a nice round number. But in any case, they're gonna have to get a lot of money in here. Auto scroller is a really good place to do it because you're stuck moving at a fixed speed here anyways, so you may as well. And there's actually a lot of money in here. There's a dirt pile, and there's like a 200 gem in here, and another dirt pile, and a 750 checkpoint. It's quite a bit to get in here.
So
Coming up. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, I wasn't gonna say anything really. You can.
All right. I was just gonna say, coming up after this is, towards the end of the stage is one of the most annoying parts of this stage, or most lethal parts, which is the triple Jawa room. And there's not really a consistent strat for that room. It's just kind of the Jawas move in the way that they do, and you try to react to it, and you hope that they don't blow you into a pit and murder you. King Captain is in the lead, so he should be the first person to reach the triple Jawa room.
He's taking the screen a little bit safe, which don't blame him for. So let's see how he deals with. Oh boy.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he's gonna die here. It does look like his money's in a pretty good spot to where he can take it back.
Yeah, that should be
wow.
recoverable.
Jesus.
Oh wow, Newbie clutches the last Jawa. It could be having a good room as well.
Oh my goodness, dude. KingCaptain's having a real hard time with these Jawas. Oh my god, dude, he almost died again.
Oh boy. Alright, made it out. Eric making his way to the triple Jawa room as well. Down in the lower left-hand corner of your screen there. Ah!
Oh my god, dude.
Oh no! Now that money is actually in a very awkward spot.
Yeah, he died in a really bad spot. He can't really get most of his money back, I believe. Yeah, he can get maybe one of his gold money bags back, but he's gonna have to drop everything else basically. So that's gonna put him in. Oh wow, that's gonna put him in a pretty rough position here.
Newbie and Pikapete on the right, having both defeated the boss of this stage. Oh no! Eric dies again.
Yeah, Eric dies again. Hopefully he can make it back there and actually get his money, or otherwise he's going to be in a huge problem. If you don't have enough money after this stage, it's a really big issue because you can't buy rail mail, and rail mail is the single most important item in this entire run to get.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, he gets all his money back.
Got all the money back. Then it should be 3,000 for defeating the boss. So he is in good shape.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't think he had to destroy the checkpoint, but better safe than sorry. I mean, unless this boss kills him, and then it's actually much worse.
He won't have to go to the dinner table once he goes back to the tower if he does actually want to buy rail mail, however. Oh wait, no, can he even do that? I don't think he can, actually. Oh wait, he can. Oh boy.
Oh wait, yeah, I was off by the thousands digit shoot. Let's see. Okay, so he can get the 600 from the juice bar.
Oh wait, no, he actually gave money to
Oh right, he already did that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's actually fine. All right, so the other 3 players have all gone to the Lich Yard because the curio that unlocks here is the Skeletal Sentry, which does a lot of damage to bosses, so this is the next one we're going to get. You see that the curio that they got from the Flying Machine and those 10 skulls is the Judgment Rush, which allows Specter Knight to teleport and attack the nearest enemy. And as you can see, it speeds things up considerably. You end up being able to teleport through walls and around very dangerous enemies. It's basically mandatory for any kind of any percent speed run. It speeds things up so much. Oops. Okay, so Newbie runs into the flames over there in the upper right. But I think the gold there is pretty recoverable, so it's not too big of an issue. Other than the time loss, obviously.
I'm not.
I guess we were wrong. Everyone is in fact going Skelebro.
Yeah, I think Pikapete just grabbed an extra skull at the beginning to for safety, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Or to make this stage a little bit easier.
Okay, fair enough. So it looks like Pikapete will be the first one to reach the boss. This boss can be... He's pretty consistent, but if you make an error, his pattern can go in all kinds of weird ways that are hard to predict.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. Good start, definitely. Oh no, his controller, I think, is still having problems.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, that one was not an accidental dialogue skip. Okay. A few other players making it to the boss, Newbie and Eric.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a bummer because the most times you can hit him is 4 per teleport, so he does have to wait an extra teleport. At least he gets out of it alive. It's a good thing he took that extra health, or he would be dead right now.
Yeah. This boss, I mean, the longer the fight goes, the harder he has to deal with. His attacks fill the screen like really well, the longer the fight goes.
Yeah, and some of those lightning balls do a full heart of damage, so this fight can get away from you in a hurry. Alright, Captain Newbie and Pete have all successfully cleared the Phantom Striker. Eric will be there in probably another 30 seconds? 30 seconds. So, next part after Lichyard, or whatever your second stage is you always do Dream 1. So, this is a flashback sequence, however, even though it happened in the past, whatever money you pick up here transfers to the present.
Magic.
And I think the lore reason is that, like, until the flashback, Spectre had forgotten about it and was like, oh right, I had that 3,000 that I put somewhere. But in any case, there is a lot of money in this sequence, so it helps to pick it all up.
Mm.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, you can definitely get a lot of money from this sequence, but usually you don't. It's better to not go out of your way to get it, even though it's a pretty good way to get money.
Yeah. Well, I think has everyone died at least once, or I know Eric's died at least 3 times. Peta, I think, has died a couple times, but I can't remember if everyone picked up the bags or not. In any case, for safety, it seems good to pick up the chest at the end of Dream 1. There's a lot in there.
Yeah. I think that wastes like 5 seconds or so for, tons of gold, which is, a pretty good trade-off.
Yeah. So, it died 6 times? Oof. Okay, my bad. Alright, so next part of this route is the Clockwork Tower. There are a couple of skulls and auto-scrollers here, so they're actually completely free in terms of time to pick up. And there's also a lot of money in here, so they'll be able to really easily afford the next thing that they need after the end of the stage. Eric just making it to the first stream now. Looks like Pete will be
my god! The Newbie just almost beefed it. Almost didn't make it to the ladder.
He's fine.
So yeah, he's fine now.
He's fine now.
Yeah.
All's well that ends well, right?
Oh, it looks like he's going to actually get this extra darkness here, which I guess is fine. So yeah, you can either get the darkness or health upgrades in the stage like Newbie just did, or you can buy them from the tower for 4,000 gold each. Oh boy. Okay, so I believe Pete. I didn't see what he was doing. I think he died in the auto scroller. Or something.
Yeah. He fell in the auto scroller.
Oh man, that's brutal. He was doing pretty well too. That's unfortunate.
It always really stings to die in the auto scroller because then you have to do the whole auto scroller again, and it's already frustrating enough. There's no way to speed it up. There's 2 different auto scrollers in this stage, and each one has 1 skull in it. So in total, there's 2 free skulls in this stage. I think all of the others are kind of out of the way, but those 2 are actually just automatic.
So this is definitely one of the stages that you can lose a lot of time on if you die, since all of the checkpoints are actually like super out of the way. So like if you're not used to racing or what have you, you can just forget to grab one of the safety checkpoints and just lose a billion years, like Pete just did.
Yeah. The only one that's kind of on your path is the one right after the first auto scroller. Even that one you have to go a little out of your way for. KingCaptain, I agree with getting the the checkpoint right before the second auto scroller. Especially if he's planning on breaking the one before before Tinker. Which, I know a lot of people do because it's $750. It's a big chunk of money. I think he's got enough money, so he shouldn't have to. Actually, wait, I just realized Eric is super low on money. What's he gonna do?
I don't. Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean he's got 1,800. You're supposed to have 7,000 by the end of this stage. Boss is 3,000. There's a 750 checkpoint before the boss. There's a chest with about 700 in it.
I'm not
quite. Yeah, it's not quite enough. I guess both the auto scrollers have a lot of money.
And he might have given money to one of the NPCs while we were looking. I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah, he is really low on gold, actually.
Alright, so a couple of our players starting up Tinker Knight here. So Tinker Knight, the first form of this boss, as Shovel Knight, is kind of a joke fight, and he dies in 1 hit from his own gear. In this game, they actually made him a pretty formidable boss. To the extent where they gave you a full health refill in between his 2 phases, which the other games do not have. Oh shoot. Pete died right before the second auto-scroller. Ran out of health.
Ooh.
Jeez.
NotSoNewby starting the second phase here. Oh no. Newbie actually got caught on the drill after his Judgment Rush there. Depending on where you start the Judgment Rush, you can sort of get caught on the drill, which is not always something that's easy to predict.
Well, he recovered from it well. That fight can go really wrong if you fall off and run out of magic for Judgment Rush, but he was able to stay on top of the robot the whole time. So KingCaptain, currently in the lead here, is going to be going over to Manny in order to upgrade Skeleton Sentry to its most powerful form. Now has more health and fires 5 shots per volley instead of 3. So this is around the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just looking at Pikapete's feed, and he actually got like hit by the Grey Knight 3 times by him just jumping over the ledge, which I thought was pretty funny.
Jeez.
But he actually broke the checkpoint before this auto-scroller, so if he dies, he's going to be in a world of hurt.
Oh, jeez. I mean, in theory, the auto-scrollers should be free, right? But in practice, sometimes you fat finger something or forget what you're doing, and then if that happens, there's pits and spikes everywhere, so it's over.
Yeah. I think he's fine, though.
Okay. Yeah, that was the last hard part of it. Oh, so he is going to try to get this chest up here for more money. Never mind.
Oh, I think he just... I think he thought the food was up there or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Let's see, everyone's all over the place now. There's 2 people fighting Tinker Knight, 1 person fighting Reese, and then King Captain has started the next stage. After finishing Clockwork Tower, you pretty much just go in the order of the stages that are fastest to menu, because it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, at this point in the run, you pretty much have everything you need to like do the rest of the game.
Okay. Eric's out of magic and he fell off, so he needs to...
Captain.
Oh, that's not good. He is in the lead though, so that's not that big a deal. Probably doesn't even really need to get the money back.
Yeah. He died in a really weird way. I don't know why he tried to turn around at the end of the spikes. Which...
I have actually done that. I don't trust that corridor, and I've had so many runs where I tried to grind there, and then he just walked into the spikes. So now when I get to that part, I like second guess myself, and I think that I didn't start railing when I did, and I'll die in that exact same way.
Oh, does that happen just because you're not holding down? Is that it?
It happens if you turn to the left. So like I turned to the left to adjust to the fact that Specter Knight never started railing, except he did start railing, so then he just stops his rail and dies. It's
okay.
It's only because I've tried to... It died in that exact same way that I understand. Alright, so Pete starting the Reese fight. This starts after you've beaten 3 stages and then try to select another stage. It's a little mini-boss fight that happens. Shouldn't be too tough, and also if you do die here, you just start right at the beginning of the fight. So it's not really that big of a deal either way. Eric had to play with the dog for extra money in order to be able to afford everything.
Yeah, it's a really bad time. You're in really dire straits if you do actually have to do that to actually buy everything you need.
Yeah, there's a few sources of emergency money around the hub. There's that. There's the edge farmer who gets impressed if you pose in front of him. There's... Gosh, what's the name of the person who gives you the kiss of death? You can get 400 from her, him, whatever.
I think his name is Dull.
That sounds right. Yeah, that's another potential source of backup money.
But yes, as far as the Reese fight is concerned, we didn't really talk about him because we were talking about other stuff. But usually, as a rule of thumb, you don't want Reese to teleport because you know, if he's teleporting around, you can't actually hit him. And usually, that fight can go one of 2 ways. You can either completely destroy him because he gives you a good pattern, or otherwise, you can just jump around and be a huge nerd and destroy you. Wait, where's... Oh my goodness, what? Okay, that was a really weird mistake from Eric. He just went to the wrong screen completely.
Meanwhile, on King Captain's screen, he died to the fish in Iron Whale. That fish actually does 2 full hearts of damage every time it hits you. It's one of the only enemies in the game that does that much damage. And unfortunately, the checkpoint right before it is super far out of the way, so you don't normally take that one.
So newbies onto Treasure Knight here. Skeletal Sentry does really, really good work against Treasure Knight. Unfortunately, newbie set up his skeleton kind of wrong, and he actually wasted a volley. He didn't hit him at all. But still did okay.
Yeah, if you're fast enough on that boss, he actually reverts to his old programming that he had in the previous games, where he'll throw out a chest and try to suck you into it. Oh no. It's good Pete got that backup checkpoint because he died immediately after. Trying to slash the gel ball, but didn't slash. I think there's one other thing in the game that does 2 hits of damage other than the fish and Iron Whale. Isn't there? No, I'm thinking of the spikes in Explodatorium, but those are only a heart and a half. Yeah, so I guess it is the only thing that does 2 full hearts.
Yeah, I believe that's true. Oh, Eric struggling to keep up with the mid-boss here. Oh my god, he falls off at the very end. Eric is really not having a great time right now. He's struggling a lot.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I mean, again, picking up money is not as big of a concern at this point in the run. You get the only other thing you buy is wisps, and you get enough money from bosses alone to cover that. But just having to do this whole first part of the auto-scrolly boss again is kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
Pikapete in the bottom right has made it to the Mole Knight. So at this part of the run, it's kind of, you let your Skelebro do 100 billion points of damage to the boss, and then they die extremely quickly. This is a very good curio, and it's worth going out of your way for that reason. The other route you can take in this game is Bounding Soul, which is similar. It does a lot of damage to bosses. Has some other utility.
Oh my god, King Captain gets stabbed off the edge.
Oh jeez, that knight wanted him.
Yeah, the Red Knights are some of the most vicious in the game. Once they start their lunge, they actually strike very, very quickly. I believe they have the fastest, like, lunge out of all the knights. Oh no, Eric. Okay, Eric's fine.
That's the screen I was watching too. That was really scary. Even with the extra health, the fish still kills you in 3 hits. It's stressful, no matter what.
So Pikapete did actually do Lost City before Iron Whale, which I'm not really sure if that really makes a big deal in the route. I think he might have just mismenued, or he might just feel more comfortable doing that that order. But it doesn't really change much late in the run like this.
That was a good save from Pete just now. By using the Whiff Judgment Rush in order to avoid falling to his death after he missed that jump. Good stuff. Couple of boss fights going on. Treasure Knight just died. Mole Knight in the upper right, falling to Newbie.
King Captain pretty low on health here. There isn't really health until later on in the stage here, so he's gonna have to play well.
Yeah, the second beetle is the next time he has a chance to get some health. And Captain was the only one of our players who did not pick up any bonus health. He's being very careful about these flames, as he should be.
He's not gonna rail on the magma there. He's just gonna walk.
I think he's doing the right thing by playing more conservatively at low health. So in the upper right, NotSoNewby has made it to Dream 2, so after you've beat enough stages, you get the second Dream. It's pretty similar to the first one. There's a curio you can get in the first Dream, but if you didn't get it, it's just automatically given to you at the start of this one, which is the Caltrops, which will have an impact in the boss fight that's coming up at the end of the stage.
So NotSoNewby going up against our pal, Shield Knight. Shield Knight, at the beginning of the fight, she can do a couple of jumps that can either really help you out or really give you a bad time. It looks like Newbie... Wow, he's just spamming Caltrops. He has tons of magic. Having extra magic... Yeah. Having extra magic for this fight actually helps out quite a bit, since Caltrops is actually a pretty good weapon.
Yeah, if you pick up extra Darkness Wisps as Specter Knight, in the dream sequences, you also have extra magic, even though the two characters have different magic meters. Health and magic still carry over.
It looks like Eric also going to play the screen he's on very safe.
Yep. Getting the safety checkpoint. That kind of scared me. The green stuff was running out and it was turning back into lava.
Yeah. He made it though. He's fine.
Alright. Pikapete having a good Treasure Knight fight. Newbie starting the Explodatorium. Explodatorium is a stage that's based all around global cycles and and pits.
No. Yeah, pits.
It's all about pits. The number one thing about this stage is not falling into pits. I actually don't know what dying there does to the global cycles, because I think they start when you respawn, but now he's on a different checkpoint, so I don't actually know what happens here. I guess you just wing it.
Yeah, I mean, the global cycle starts when, you load the level again, so... Yeah, once he spawned at the checkpoint, the global cycle started again, which... I mean, at that point, you kind of just wing it. Yeah. Unless you're, like, a fourth-dimensional chess player or something.
Yeah, he actually could have made that cycle, but I don't blame him for not going for it. It's not like you have any... Whoa, what?
Oh, he just... I think he just forgot to jump.
No,
he missed the jump again, dude! Oh,
got a wall climb. Alright, third time's a charm.
There you go.
Oh, King Captain defeated by the Shield Knight. He's still the only player who took 4 hearts, so all these bosses are significantly more lethal.
Shield Knight can be very obnoxious if you don't know like what her various patterns can be. And it looked like he had a really bad beginning pattern, actually.
Oh, I see. Doing a lot better on the second attempt.
Yeah. The very last phase of this fight is kind of a nightmare, since she throws like this little orb around and it bounces all over the place, and it can really corner you in like a really bad spot if she gives you bad patterns. So usually you only want the last phase to only last a couple seconds.
Yeah, in an ideal world, she's already very low on health by that point in the fight. Doesn't always work out like that. Alright, should have 3 players in Explodatorium in a moment. If Eric has a good fight on Shield Knight here, joining them in a sec.
Oh my god. Okay. That rat explosion almost hit Newbie, and he would have probably fell in the pit if it would have hit him.
Good thing that didn't happen. So the Plague Knight fight in this category, in the Souls category, this fight is super obnoxious. In this category, it's obnoxious, but not nearly as much so because he dies much faster. You're still kind of hoping he gives you good patterns.
Yeah, the Skeletal Sentry really helps you out since he covers a lot of the area. It's very easy to hit Plague Knight with.
It does quite a bit of damage per volley, which gives him less time to jump around and be unpredictable.
Eric picking up his last... Or actually, I think some players get 5 darkness, and I think some players stay with 4 darkness.
Okay.
Even for this route, it doesn't really make a huge difference. I think it's mostly the same.
I think one place where the extra darkness really makes a big difference is actually where Newbie is right now in the stranded ship. There's There's more tricks in this stage than you have mana for, so you kind of got to pick and choose which ones you're actually doing. In the Bounded Soul route, there's a quick kill you can do on the mini boss. In this one, there is technically also a quick kill, but I think only Speedfrog ever did it because it was impossible.
Yeah, the skeleton quick kill for this boss, I believe, is very difficult.
Yeah, you have to do some voodoo stuff with put the skeleton out, explode it, and then when it makes the rainbow platform, you put another skeleton on it. It's ridiculous. I don't think anyone's gonna go for that. Not quick killing the boss gives you a lot of magic to do a lot of the other stuff. Little trick there by a newbie in order to open the switches, skip part of that puzzle. Good kill by Pete on the Plague Knight. Nicely done. Also, King Captain has him down. Oh. Newbie got that thing where that switch in the lower left there double hits, and it turns the rails on and then immediately off.
Yeah.
I've had that happen, but only ever on that switch. I'm not sure why.
I think it has something to do with slashing at the same time you land on the rail. It like hits the switch twice for some reason.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. I don't really know why that happens.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So, there is a trick in Stranded Ship you can do on one of the rail sections where you toss a skeleton behind you and explode it as it's falling and it hits a switch. The timing on it is pretty precise though, and you lose around, I think, 5 seconds if you don't get it. So I don't know if any of these guys are going to attempt it. You're also out half a bar of magic. Oh yeah, Polar Knight died, by the way. That is probably the boss that is the freest to Skeletal Sentry. Because he's so big, you tend to get all 5 shots, even if you're... Like, no matter what you do, you're gonna get all of them.
Yeah.
Maybe getting dream number 3. Not a lot happens in that dream, just a few lines of dialogue that you skip, and then you just leave. That's why that one's my favorite dream.
Yeah, pretty easy.
Yep.
Wait, Eric is... Oh. Huh.
Oh yeah, he actually mentioned this in the Discord earlier today, that he was thinking about getting the Whale Skull. Said he timed this out and it takes around 20 seconds out of your day in order to pick this up for a little added safety, probably for Black Knight too, potentially also for Enchantress or Nightmare Reese.
Alright. That's a little bit too much safety in my book, but you know, whatever you want to do, man.
I cannot tell him how to live his life. You have to follow your heart.
That's true.
Ah, shoot. Okay, second attempt. So newbie gets the little cauldron skip there. There's a damage boost that you can do as you're climbing the wall in order to skip a big puzzle involving books. The cauldron itself does a full hit of damage though, so each time you miss it, it kind of racks up. Polar Knight exploding on Pikapete's screen. Oh shoot! He actually has a lot of health left. What happened?
I believe one of his volleys didn't really do all that much damage. That's why he's still alive. Still makes it through.
Yeah, didn't die at least. So good stuff. Maybe getting to the cursed books room. Or that's not the name of the room, it's just this room is cursed.
Yeah.
Oh! That scared me. I thought he was about to eat it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but made it back to the platform, able to wall climb up, secure himself to safety. King Knight, I think, is one of the bosses that
Oh my god,
is actually...
dude.
Whoa.
What? What
am I
is this
looking at?
arena, dude? Oh my goodness. This is such a weird arena.
Oh, the way the platforms randomly fell, you mean?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a really weird layout that he got.
I mean, props to Newbie for managing through it.
Yeah,
So that
he
is
still
actually
did-
like totally RNG, which of those platforms become pits after King Knight does his ground pound. So it's one of those things you kind of have to react to. In the Bounding Souls route, it doesn't matter as much because King Knight dies so quickly that it doesn't matter which platforms become pits, but the kill with Skelebro is a little slower. Alright, maybe beginning the
Oh my
penultimate
God.
stage. Who almost died? This is way too much to keep track of.
Pikapete almost bonked into the books and almost fell into the spikes.
Oh jeez. Bunch of near misses happening all over the place right now.
So yeah, Newbie in the lead right now in the tower entrance. Oh, he actually hit the last book, which actually wastes a little bit of time since you have to wait a little bit more time for the books to disappear.
Yeah, there's a way to do that room only hitting a single book, but hitting both books does give you the added safety, and honestly Newbie is so far ahead right now that he can kind of only lose if he totally beefs it! Oh my gosh, why did I say anything?
His death was really not all that bad. He maybe lost, like, I don't know, 10 seconds because of that.
Yeah. He died in the same room as the checkpoint, right next to the checkpoint, so if you're gonna die, that is absolutely the least bad place for it to happen. I was just shocked at the timing of it. But yeah, I think it makes sense at this point for Newbie just to play it conservatively. He has got a pretty significant lead. Oh no!
Oh no.
Okay, the Crusher giving Newbie a lot of problems right now. He was trying to rail to the right, but he gave him a rail to the left followed by an immediate break, which can happen if you try to rail the opposite direction you're facing as you fall.
He is still in the lead, though.
Yeah, still in a good spot. Could be a lot worse. So Captain and Pete both getting past the King Knight. Nicely done. Are these guys in a call with each other just now, right now?
I don't think so.
Okay, they were before we started, but I had not checked. And yeah, now I guess they're not in there anymore. So actually, they might not even know who's in the lead or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one of these players is actually looking at the other people's stream. NotSoNewby on the last Bertha screen does make it through without taking a bite.
Nice. Yeah, again, it's the same fish as Iron Whale, which does 2 full hits, so that can be a very stressful room. Yeah, this last proper stage of Specter Knight combines pretty much all of the mechanics that you've seen in previous stages, and in a bunch of rooms combines them in interesting ways. Oh, jeez. Okay, nice save by Pete. Yeah, realizing he wasn't going to be able to make the cycle and going back. Good save.
KingCaptain falling through the screen there. Almost fell into the spikes below the screen.
Oh, that's an interesting way of doing the Crusher room. I hadn't seen that. Where he just, like, jumps onto the Crusher part, wall climbs, and then immediately cancels.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't make the cycle after the knife, though.
Yeah, that's a bummer, because then you have to wait for a whole nother cycle. Alright, so Newbie making it to Black Knight 2. This is one of the infamous bosses of this game. The fastest way to kill him when you have Skelebro is to try to stay at the top of the screen like this and hit him while he's up there. But if you fall off, it can be difficult to recover. You'll be doing a good job recovering, getting some good damage. This is where you really want... Oh shoot, what happened to Captain? Were you watching?
I think I might have died to Bertha.
Oh no.
Or I think... No, actually I think he died to the spikes in this room. Yeah, he died in this room.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes if you rail off the first platform there and then... You're supposed to just be able to rail off the first platform there and just hold left and not die to the spikes, but sometimes if you like rail... I think if you rail like too late or too early, you'll get hit by the spikes anyway.
It's a really intermittent problem. It happens once in a blue moon, but when it does, you just die. So Newbie with a really good Black Knight 2 fight. He's in great shape right now. Pikapete starting his own Black Knight fight. Okay, so he's just gonna try to knock him off. The explosion from the Skelebro is great for that.
Yeah, fighting Black Knight, again, on the ground is not the greatest way to be fighting him, but in this fight at least, it's a little bit more manageable since fighting him in the air is actually kind of difficult.
Alright.
Hopefully he doesn't get hit.
Yeah, down to 1 heart here. Cannot use the skeletons anymore. Down to half a heart.
Oh no, dude. He's gonna have to do the fight again.
Bummer. Alright. Newbie, meanwhile, coming up on the final boss of the game, so he has switched out Rail Mail for the Striker's Shawl. So you lose the mobility, which you don't really need in this stage anyways, and you trade it for a charge attack, which does twice as much damage.
Alright, so I believe he's... Oh, okay, he's gonna do this opening. I actually don't really know what this route really does against this boss. So here, when Enchantress is below you, you can use the skeleton explosion to actually hit her while she's under the stage, which is pretty nifty. You have tons of magic, so it's not really like a big deal that you're using so much magic to deal like only 2 hits, or maybe 1.
Yeah,
Sometimes
whether it's 1 or 2 hits kind of depends on how much of the explosion hits her. If it just grazes her, sometimes it only does a single hit of damage.
Alright, Newbie.
Oh, Pikapete's in some trouble here against Black Knight 2. Down to a single heart. Yeah.
He dies again. Eric is actually gonna... They're actually, like, caught up now. Which is actually pretty interesting. Newbie on Reese here. The last fight in the game.
Yeah. Bearing the worst rails in the entire world, Newbie should have this in the bag at this point. It's a full stage ahead of everyone else. This is the final boss of the game. So these rail patterns that you get are random, and where the gaps are in them, and sometimes they go over the top of the boss and you can't actually hit him. So you can definitely get some bad RNG here. So worth noting that Eric does have the Will Skull, so this is why he took it, so that he would have a much easier Black Knight fight. He's going to use it here.
NotSoNewby actually finishing the time of 49:09.
Nice.
And King Captain entering Enchantress. Pikapete, unfortunately, is I think he's died on 3 times on Black Knight so far. And Eric has gone past Black Knight, so he's completely caught up at this point.
Eric pulls into third place at this point. Looks like King Captain's having a pretty good fight against Enchantress. Down to a heart and a half, but... actually, now that I'm looking at it, no, he doesn't have the magic to kill... Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he didn't have the magic to kill her with skeleton explosions through the floor, so he had to try to drop down and do slash attacks for extra damage, but missed it and died. Captain has actually not gotten the Striker's Shawl for this, and since he also doesn't have Bounding Soul, it's pretty difficult to do a lot of damage to this boss. This is not an Enchantress fighting loadout, unfortunately.
Pikapete is still struggling
no.
against Black Knight. I can't really overstate how much of a pain Black Knight is. Definitely one of the hardest, if not the hardest, fight in the game for some people.
Yeah, arguably more difficult than either of the final bosses. And the way he can bounce when you're hitting him at the top of the screen, if you're off by just a little bit, he won't bounce and hit the wall the way that you're expecting, and then he goes flying to the other edge of the screen. It's also very easy to take a lot of damage in this fight. Okay. So King Captain working on Nightmare Reese, final boss of the game. ericDLC is up to Enchantress. So if King Captain doesn't have a good Nightmare Reese fight, Eric could actually get past him here. Oh, that was a little spooky. Did you see the double hit there on the lantern?
I don't think I did. I was watching
slashed...
Eric.
Oh yeah, so... But he slashed the lantern down and then immediately slashed it back up. If he hadn't gotten the second slash, it could have been really bad. Oh jeez.
Alright, King Captain finishes out.
Alright, nicely done. 51-59.
Oh man.
Oh shoot, misses the charge slash.
Pikapete actually died again to Black Knight. He's still not through it.
Jeez. Black Knight is just being a jerk right now. All the other runners paid him off before the run, but Pikapete... I don't negotiate with terrorists, and now it's costing him. Okay, nice fight on the Enchantress for Eric. The second time around. Oh right, I forgot he had the Japanese dialogue.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it is what it is.
It sure is. Maybe that's why he's winning right now.
Maybe. Maybe the Japanese version is significantly faster to detect scapes.
Please, Pikapete, don't die.
You can do this.
No!
It's neck and neck, come on!
Please, just kill Black Knight, please.
He has to avoid everything.
Yeah. Not too hard. No.
I don't know what his best play is. Does he just wait out the pattern and wait for Black Knight to come down? Like, it's too risky to try anything else at this point, isn't it?
I guess
okay.
so.
Right, this is it. You need one shot. No! I don't believe it!
That's actually kind of easy to whiff there because he's going so fast.
Yeah, you can end up targeting the turtle instead of Black Knight and then just ram face first into turtle. Oh my goodness. So Eric working on Nightmare Reese here. He's down to one heart himself though.
Cool.
Yeah, down he goes.
Come on, Pete. You can catch up. I believe in you.
You can do this, Pete.
Maybe Eric didn't pay off Reese.
Maybe. Yeah. Equally important, I would say.
Does get a pretty decent start, I would say.
Yeah, the start of the... oh, nope.
Ooh.
Yeah, any hit against bosses. Oh no. Oh, okay. It is actually. I was gonna say something else, but it is much worse to have a break in the rails happen just as you jump.
Right.
Okay, so Pikapete conquering the Black Knight. Black Knight 8 at this point. I think he's graduated from Black Knight 2.
Yeah,
he's like way up
actually,
there.
He actually did pretty well there at the very end when he killed him. That was a pretty decent fight. All right, Eric. Don't choke. Just kill the dude.
All you have to do is kill the dude. It is worth noting you can save yourself from a bad rail pattern against this boss if you notice it in time and use the Judgment Rush. But this is looking pretty good. It should just be one charge slash and one regular slash. Yep.
There you go.
So Eric finishes it out with a time of yeah, he doesn't have a timer. I just realized that.
I think it was like a 55, 30, mid 30 something.
Oh yeah, we could probably go off of what Pikapete's timer was at that time. So good time, nicely done. Alright, so Pikapete, our last runner, going into Enchantress. It's absolutely still possible for Pikapete to get a sub 60 at this point. These bosses do not take 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't think.
I don't believe so. That is, of course, if he, doesn't die.
Yeah.
So far, it looks like he had having a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah, you want to get three hearts worth of damage against Enchantress there, because that starts the next part of her pattern. He did 2.5, so she did a bunch of stuff that she wasn't supposed to. Jeez, okay. That's kind of a bummer. Misses a bunch of slashes there. Yep, each one of those is a full heart of damage. So even with one extra heart, this can be a pretty tough boss. Right. And she's only 2 that time. Tries to salvage it with the Judgment Rush, but she's moving around too fast.
Sometimes she can do these really insanely fast like dashes like across the entire screen that are like really ridiculous to like adjust to.
Yeah, I think the way that it works is she always spends the same amount of time dashing even if she's going further away, which would mean that if she's dashing much further away, she obviously has to go a lot faster to compensate.
Yeah.
At least that's just what I'm guessing. That's what it looks like she does.
Alright, so Pikapete does actually make it through Enchantress. God bless.
Alright, this is the final boss of the game. Got a minute 40 to go to make this a sub 60. It is totally doable with a first try Nightmare Reese.
So once again, the main thing in this fight is just dealing with the random set of rails that you spawn.
Yeah, that was a bad set. The gap in the rails happened immediately after he got hit by one of the fireballs. Really unfortunate.
You can actually destroy those, I don't know what you would call them, but the projectiles he fires from his chest with a scythe attack. You can actually, like, make those disappear. But even,
really?
Yeah, but even if you get a bad enough rail spawn, that won't even help you.
I think those flames are also slashable.
I believe so, yeah. Although they're a lot harder to slash.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my god, dude, these rail spawns are not nice.
Oh wow, yeah. He couldn't even get high enough to hit Nightmare Reese there.
Oh, he misses the final slash there.
Okay. Okay,
There you go.
nice.
Nice
59
ending.
40. Sub hour. Got it.
Some hour, dude.
Alright, so those results are now in. I'm curious if the bracket has been updated. No, it hasn't. But we should be able to infer with how the bracket has changed due to understanding who won which race. So Newbie won this race against King Captain. So he will be going on to face Patwa in the next part of the tournament.
Patma
And
being the current world record holder, I believe.
yeah, he and Mumu are going back and forth ridiculously, like taking the record back and from each other. And then ericDLC is going to go on to face Mumu in the next round. So that will be the next part of winner's side for this particular speed gaming tournament.
Yep. So both of the winners in this race have their work cut out for them if they actually want to make it past their next match.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. Those are the 1 and 2 seeds. And for good cause. So I guess that is it for us. We're not doing another race after this one. So I think we are done skis. So,
No one says that. I've never heard that.
so you're saying that we're done skis as far as saying done skis goes.
We're
So I'm
done.
checking the schedule here. So Thursday, October 12th, 7 p.m. Got another race between Buster and Westbeard Tooth. So definitely tune in to this channel at that time, and you'll be able to watch a speed game. Actually, it might be on Speed Gaming 1 or 3 at that point. That part we don't have yet. But in any case, follow all 3 channels. Watch more of this tournament. Thank you for coming out.
You. All right, peace.
Peace.